Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Hekathon 2020, 2021. My name is LordFluffy, and this is Titanfall 2. But as you can see, there's two game feeds. That's because I am going to be racing today against my buddy, pal, friend, chum, buddy boy, Viz. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
But Titanfall 2 is a very movement-heavy game. There's a lot of mechanics that we would want to go over when we're talking about the game. So, while we're focusing, I have Mr. World Record holder himself, Bryonato, here to help explain things with what's going on the stream.
Hello. Hi, thanks for having me, guys. Folks, I'm happy to be here.
All right, so two things before we get in the run. You will notice immediately that we are running on the Mandarin version of the game. Mandarin is 36 seconds faster than English and is the fastest language overall for the game across the entire run. As well, this game is a modified version of runs on a modified version of the source engine. So you saw the Half-Life run prior to us. You saw a lot of the bunny hopping and air strafing that they were doing in that run. We'll be doing some similar stuff as well. We'll go more into that in just a moment as we get in here. But Viz, are you ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right. Bri, want to count us down?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Go ahead and start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so here we go. Titanfall 2 any percent. I believe this is the first time we've had a race at a marathon before, so that's pretty cool. And this is pretty fitting considering we just had a massive race tournament back in March for it was a bit different format than a full game, but it was pretty cool. So, as we explained, Titanfall 2 runs on a modified version of the source engine. It is a sci-fi FPS that was developed by Respawn, who later went on to make Apex Legends. You've probably seen a lot of stuff about that with the new season that just came out. And because it runs on a modified version of source, we do have some holdovers from the source engine that are going to be present here. What you'll see right off the bat is air strafing. And also, the first thing we'll talk about is slide hopping. So slide hopping is mechanically very similar to bunny hopping, if you're familiar with that, except in this case, we're holding crouch while we do it. The timing is a bit more lenient, and it's a bit more versatile in how we can use it to chain speed together, or chain jumps together. So the idea is that we always want to be jumping when we hit the ground. Obviously, there is no friction when we're in the air, and that allows us to maintain and build speed as we go. Now, this is the tutorial level of the game. This is the gauntlet. This is just teaching us about all the various mechanics in the game. We're going to do a quick reload animation skip right here, and then we're going to be using a kind of Easter egg weapon, the EPG, to do some damage boosts as we approach the actual gauntlet segment. You might have seen the new world record that was broken on this mission actually a couple times in the past few weeks. Now it's down to 11.1 seconds. We're not going to be going quite that fast here because the strats we're doing are a lot different. But yeah, we'll be doing a lot of the main tech here, which is damage boosting for the gauntlet. Damage boosting is different in the gauntlet than it is elsewhere. We're throwing grenades at our feet, or letting them explode in midair, and then shooting the EPG, which is essentially a rocket launcher, at our feet. And because we're in a simulation, we actually can't die. So you'll see damage boosts throughout the run, but they're much different here. And that was a pretty solid gauntlet from Viz. And a solid one from Fluffy as well. It's actually pretty close. Gauntlets can be kind of a toss-up in a full game setting, particularly because there's just so much. There could be a little bit of variance with frag boosts, but both of them got through it pretty solidly. The other tech that you've seen them using that you saw a ton of in the run before was air strafing. Fortunately, we have we have both their input overlays on screen, so you can get a bit of an idea of what we're talking about. There is a speed cap in source games when you hold W. This is a very abbreviated description of how this works, by the way. There's a speed cap when you hold W in source games, and so by holding left and right in the air and moving our camera in an arc, and not holding W specifically, we're able to jump farther, we can build speed. It's essential to what we have going on in this game. This is the segment where we would normally call down our Titan, but both runners are going for kind of a fun glitch right here, where if you jump on where, there we go, Fluffy got it, yeah. If you jump on where the Titan's coming down, you can kind of change the angle it comes in at. It doesn't save any time, but it looks cool. Changing the name of the game from Titanfall to Titan Slide. So yeah, very solid gauntlet from both runners. I would imagine there's probably only a few seconds between them here, so yeah, some context for what's going on within Titanfall itself. We play as Rifleman Jack Cooper. We are just a regular rifleman in the militia, which are a rebellious military force that is fighting back against the IMC, or Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. They're this big kind of hyper-capitalist corporate conglomerate that goes from planet to planet in this region of the galaxy called the Frontier and drives people from their homes and takes all the resources from the planets. So we're just the group of people that are fighting back against them. And so we're about to get dropped in on a planet called Typhon. This segment right here has a ton of foreshadowing. We're meeting a lot of characters that we'll meet later on. But yeah, that is essentially the gauntlet. They're going to match space really quick to take advantage of a bug that allows us to select easy. And we are off to the second level. So yeah, how y'all feeling about that gauntlet? You both did really well. So
I got caught up on the ground, so on the crouching part because I accidentally let go of crouch. But other than that,
I see.
It was really good. Like
I
I was
think I
happy with
missed
the
that a
frag
bit.
boosts.
It was
Gotcha.
scuffed, but I saved it pretty well, some EPG boosting.
There is going to be a little bit of variance in load times. Like any other, modern PC speed game, we do remove loads for the leaderboard. For the purposes of the run, we might see a little bit of variance there, but either way, still really close between them. We have now here is the next mission, BT7274. We were approaching this planet, this IMC planet, because they had some sort of research facility that we wanted to disrupt whatever was going on there. And then we found out that they had really massive anti-orbital defenses, and the militia fleet got shot down as they were approaching the planet. Again, there's a ton of foreshadowing going on here. You can see like the actual end location of the game in the background there. That is the fold weapon. But yeah, this mission is very interesting. It is unfortunately bookended by these longer cutscenes that we have to sit through for a bit. So yeah. Right now we're just crash landing behind enemy lines. We're gonna get pumped full of a ton of drugs, and we're not supposed to be able to do any like advanced movement, because we're only a grunt right here. Usually only pilots or the people that pilot Titans are able to do this, but we're able to do some slide hopping here, which is pretty fun. So yeah, very short gameplay segment, and then another cutscene.
Yeah. Real quick on the load time thing. My load times, based on previous races that Viz and I has done, should be generally faster, but we'll try and update you at the end of each level where we are using our our load remover timers. So that'll be more accurate to the actual like skill level between the two of us. But as you can see, coming through here, it's a short little gameplay segment. You can just slide hop around all these different obstacles. You don't have to interact with any of the combat in this entire segment. Once you get past here, boom, we come into what is known as the infamous 18-hour cutscene, as noted by a dialogue that happens later on during it. This cutscene and the subsequent lore stuff that happens afterwards, with a little bit of non-relevant gameplay in between, is about 5 minutes long. So if there's any donations or something you want to do, like shilling the event, this is a great time to do so.
Actually, we do. We received a $50 donation from Forte with just a simple smiley face in the comment.
Forte! Smiley face, let's go.
Yeah, I can go through quickly what sort of games we have coming up after this. So after Titanfall, we have Prey and Dust Force, DX, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Impulsion. Also, if you go to donate.hekathon.com, you can see all the bid wars we have. We have the relay races, the commentary bias bid wars there. We have some other smaller bid wars as well, which haven't been met, so make sure to check those out. There are some pretty cool things there. Yeah, not much else to say right now, but
cool.
It's been a fun run so far.
Yeah, real quick, the Saber Kill the Marvin incentive will cut off at the end of Beacon 1. Whichever one of us gets there first will say it.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shoutouts to Forte. They helped us organize the tournament I was talking about before. They're I would say a pretty long time runner at this point. They've been running the game for a bit. But yeah, they're always coming through in marathons. So yeah, shoutouts to Forte. All right, so now we are pretty much nearing the end of this cutscene segment. This game is very much the Super Mario Sunshine of FPS runs, where it has this incredibly deep movement system that is almost unmatched in like other games. but it also starts with a very long cutscene at the start of every run. We do have a category that uses modified save files to skip the bulk of this. It's its own category, of course, and it's really competitive. Everybody takes it seriously. But for marathon settings, generally speaking, the standard category, any percent, makes a lot more sense, especially in terms of commentary and context and everything. So, speaking of context, what's happening here is this was Captain Lastimosa. This was the dude that was training us in the Gauntlet. We're not sure why he was training us. He alludes to the fact he wasn't supposed to be. But anyway, he's about to die. He got messed up by the Apex Predators, who are a mercenary force that you saw in that cutscene that are here helping out the IMC. He's giving us control of his Titan, which is very unheard of in the Titanfall universe, considering that Titan pilots are these really elite infantry units that go through very rigorous training. But yeah, after this, we're going to get his pilot gear, and the run really takes off. Our goal for this mission is going to be to retrieve 2 different batteries for BT. BT's very thirsty, so we need 2 of them to power him back up. That's the Titan that you see sitting behind him. And yeah, it's a very long and very long process to get all of them, as you'll see. This mission is really, really hard. If you just kind of look around the environment here, you'll see a lot of various like rocks and bumps and everything like that. The geometry in Titanfall 2 is very precise, almost to a fault. And if we bonk any of those in the way that we don't want to, we will lose a lot of speed. And Titanfall 2 is both a movement-based and a momentum-based speed game. Preserving our momentum is super important. So in that vein, we'll talk a bit about some of the wall mechanics in this game. So as you probably noticed, we have parkour in this game. And what happens with this is you'll see both the runners jumping off a wall as soon as they touch it. You can think of it as kind of a b-hop off a wall. It's a little bit different though. We refer to it as a wall kick, and a wall kick is ideally performed within 5 ticks or less of coming in contact with the wall. Titanfall 2 runs at 60 ticks a second. You can think of it as like a 5-frame window in a 60 FPS game. And when we do that, not only will we preserve our speed, we'll actually gain speed too. And wall kicks are dependent on a lot of things, like the angle you approach the wall and obviously your jump timing, etc., etc. So anytime that you see an instant jump off a wall, that is ideally a wall kick, and it will be not only preserving speed, but gaining speed as well. Both runners are cruising right now. This segment of the run can be very hard because we only have 1 jump here. There's a lot of mistakes in Titanfall 2 that you can cover with 2 jumps, but with 1 jump, any mistake we make, as you can see on Fluffy's screen, is very punishing, especially with all the bumps that I talked about. Now that we pass over Prowler Pad over on Viz's screen, you will see that we finally get the double jump here. Gonna try and chain a couple wall kicks here off the walls. Those can be really difficult just due to the angle there. And we are approaching, again on Viz's screen, the first battery for BT-7274. Fluffy is not far behind. They will, looks like a difference of only about 10 seconds or so here. So we have a tech coming up on Viz's screen. This is going to be known as a slant boost. This is when you initiate a slide on a very sharp angled surface. When you initiate a slide, you get a boost, and if you do it again on a sharp angled surface, you get kind of flung forward like this. So of course you're doing it on a slant. We call it a slant boost. We have to throw a grenade at a precise spot to kill the enemies before we can install the battery, and that was perfect. Viz is now approaching the next kind of minor sequence break here. This is known as river jump. This just skips a bit of movement that we do over on the right side here, saves about 10 seconds. This was found by S Deception, one of the very early skips that was found for the game. Here comes Fluffy approaching the frag now. Nice Kobe, did that get everybody? That was a really sick throw, really good recovery. We saw the first frag boost outside of the gauntlet on Viz's screen. That's called Josh Frag, again found by Josh who found it. And this segment on Viz's screen is probably the hardest in this entire level. It's a bunch of wall kicks back to back to back. You saw that Viz kind of missed one, but was able to basically use the rest of the walls as a bit of a slingshot to gain enough speed to clear that big gap. And he's going over the barracks. That's such a hard route. He tries to do a tap strafe to get around. Isn't quite able to do it. Oh, it looks like Fluffy dies too. Oh, that is a crucial. Oh, that is such a critical death. I would imagine Fluffy, was that Josh Frag? Was that what that was? Ah, man, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, that's a really brutal checkpoint. It sends you all the way back here. Viz is going to pull away pretty significantly here, but there is still, I mean, this is only the second mission of the game, so there is still a lot of game left to play. That is just a very unfortunate spot to die, and it's super rare that you die to Josh Frag as well. It's generally a very consistent trick. Fluffy just pretty much abandoning that now, not liking the setup. So you can see the difference there in the different of frag boosts outside of the gauntlet. They carry a lot of risk with all of them, and a lot of them generally have pretty precise setups here. So here comes Fluffy through Ravine. Viz is approaching the final battery install here. You can see if you were paying attention, you'll saw that they did another slant boost. That one was a lot more important just because you carry so much more speed. And yeah, a very solid BT overall from Viz there, installing the second battery now. Fluffy is just about to approach the ship to get in as well. This is a pretty interesting matchup between players. I believe. What's your is number 9 on the leaderboard versus number 7? Is that right?
Yeah, 9 versus
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, and so both players are a lot different in their play styles as well. Fluffy is known as like Professor Consistency. Generally speaking, they're a very consistent full game player. They do a lot of full game runs. And Viz is I would imagine is going to be a lot more going to go for a lot of the harder stuff that carries a lot more risk. So it'll be interesting to see if Fluffy can take advantage of that and bring this back over the course of the race. So yeah, what we have going on here's Fluffy going for the slant boost here. Going to try and get a nice got a decent one here. That's not the maximum one, but that is pretty much the second best option you can get there. So you can see all the speed that you're able to maintain through here via slide hopping and air strafing and the slant boost. 2 really precise grenades. Good. That was good. That second install or that second clear can be pretty complicated. So really well done to come through and clutch like that when you're behind. This segment here is probably one of my least favorites in the whole game. This is Titan tutorial. It's just telling us about how the Titan mechanics work in this game. BT is a special class of Titan that is able to pick up multiple different Titan loadouts throughout the run that we'll be swapping to, you'll see. This one is pretty simple. It's got a shield that captures bullets and shoots them back at enemies, and it has a multi-target missile system called the Acolyte Pod. And this segment is just teaching us how to use it. There is not a lot of RNG in Titanfall 2, but this section is one of the most random. The difference between like perfect RNG and really bad RNG can be upwards of like 10 seconds. It's really rare that you get RNG that bad, but it can happen. So yeah, so now we're coming up on what's basically the first boss fight, or a mini boss fight of the game, our first Titan fight. This one has a pretty cool strat. We're going to lay down the electric smoke, shoot this enemy to bring out their vortex shield, capture the bullets that they captured and shoot them back at them in a no you, and then shoot him to finish him off, and that is the end of BT7274 for Viz. So yeah, Viz is coming out of here. Going to be a sub 16 looks like, which is always a good time. Waiting for an audio cue for Viz there. There we go. If you go too early, it places the waypoint at like the other side of the level, and it loses about 3 seconds. So you just want to chill for a bit before you get that waypoint.
That's a gold, by the way.
That's okay. Viz, what was your overall split time?
15:31.
Wow.
BT.
Dang. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, so Viz busting out a gold split in a race setting and in a marathon setting is super duper good. Obviously, that's about as good as you can ask for. And here we are coming into Blood and Rust. This mission is extremely difficult, just like the one prior to it, but for a bit different reasons that we'll get into in a second here. Right now we're just focusing on Titan movement, which is we're going to be dashing when we go around corners and over ledges. And we want to be holding crouch as soon as we dash, which retracts our legs. We're in the air for longer. We don't experience friction until later. But I believe Viz is going for, going for the early disembark here. So this is one of the riskier strats that I was alluding to that Viz is going to be going for. That if executed right can save more time. They're not doing the frag boost variant, which is definitely safer. And if you do this quickly, it does save up to around 4 seconds. Using the way that Viz is doing it, it's probably going to be closer to 2 or 3, but either way, very solidly executed. Not going for the frag there is definitely safer for a marathon environment. We have an audio cue here, so I'm going to be quiet for a moment. Also, sorry if I was talking over your audio cue, Fluffy. I didn't even think about that.
I could hear it, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Alright, so this mission, Blood and Rust, is really hard. While BT was a lot more wide open with tough geometry, this mission is a lot of really narrow corridors and trying to navigate around very tight corners and very small hallways. And so that is what makes this really hard, is avoiding any sort of bumps here, especially through this segment here. A sniper canal kind of opens up a bit, but you have so many enemies in the way too, so there can be a little bit of variance in enemy behaviors. Nice double wall kick from Viz there. That is a very difficult strat. And Viz will be showing off what I talked about a bit earlier. This is called tab strafing. So unlike Half-Life, which you saw before this, the air acceleration values in Titanfall 2 are really low. Which means that our strafes have to be kind of slower and longer for us to gain speed from them, and if we try and do it quickly, we don't end up gaining speed. And we will just kind of like come to a standstill. However, we have a way around that through tab strafing, which is going to be tapping W as we're performing a strafe rapidly. I'm going to be quiet for the audio cue. There we go. And now Fluffy has their audio cue there for the door. Yeah, so tapping W while we're strafing allows us to take really sharp corners that we wouldn't be able to otherwise. Cool new strat from Viz here. That's called a he's going for a bump launch. Didn't quite get what we're looking for there, but still decent. Kind of wedging yourselves in the corner, holding crouch and then mashing jump. You'll kind of all of the jump inputs will stack on each other, and you can cover vertical distances really quickly. So overall, this has been a really solid Blood and Rust from Viz overall. Not without its mistakes, of course, but definitely something that is going to help them maintain or at least build on their lead over Fluffy here. So yeah, right now we're approaching. It's something that it's really easy to kind of talk over like I just did, but this is a huge skip. That was called Sludge Skip. I can talk a bit more about it once Fluffy gets there, I suppose, but that is a massive sequence break. That I think one of the earliest, if not the earliest skip that was ever found for this game. Yeah, so Viz is coming up on Kane fight right now, which will, I guess I'll just cover right now because we can cover Sludge Skip later when Fluffy does it. That's just convenient. So Viz went ahead and picked up a Titan loadout earlier on called Tone. That is a loadout that has a really unique gun on it. So every time he shoots an enemy with the gun, it's going to gain a partial missile lock, and you can build multiple missile locks on multiple enemies. And so what's going to happen is he's going to stack 2 missile locks, and then unleash the missile barrage on one enemy, and that is going to allow him to really quickly dispose of the first one before going to Kane. And then once we get to Kane themselves, we're gonna shoot him. We're just gonna do the swap reload now by swapping to another Titan loadout and then swapping back to the one we were using. That goes ahead and skips the reload animation effectively. It's about 3/4 of a second faster. And so yeah, Viz is going ahead and disposing of Kane here. And now we can talk a bit about Sludge Skip, which is happening on Fluffy's screen right now. So Fluffy is choosing very specific dialogue options to keep BT in that spot behind the fence that you see there. And so we're kind of on like an external timer, an artificial timer here, because we want to have BT talking next to the fence, but we don't want him to walk away too soon, which he'll do when he gets done talking. So we go ahead and manipulate the dialogue there to keep BT standing in the same spot, and we can embark on him through the fence. And again, that is like a 5-minute time save. It's really huge. And so yeah, now Fluffy is getting in the Titan and is also on their way to Kane fight. On Viz's screen, we just have about like a minute or so of dialogue to wait through. It's actually shortened thanks to the Mandarin dialogue. This is going to show off the bump launch that I talked about here. That's a bump launch. Now that's what a bump launch looks like. Yeah, and we can actually get into this fun little out of bounds over there. You can run around to the out of bounds, but it's pretty risky because you risk incurring the out of bounds timer, which will kill you automatically. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Viz is just waiting for Abyss 1 to end, and let's check out the Kane fight for Fluffy here. So Fluffy uses a bit of an alternative strat here, using the forget what it's called. What's it called? The pulse something? Man, I don't even remember. Anyway.
Holy Kane, bud.
Yeah, Kane is being a jerk right now. Kane can have a little bit of variance in how the fight works for them. They will move around pretty erratically based on your positioning and how close you are to them, and what weapons you're using on them and everything like that. So Kane really didn't behave for either player here. All right, and Kane is finally disposed of for Fluffy, not behaving at all. What we have going on Viz's screen is we are entering Into the Abyss Chapter 1. This is the first mission that is split up into 3 chapters. You'll see we're kind of walking through a big assembly line here. You'll see lots of moving parts and everything like that. Unlike the level that precedes this one, all of the pieces, the moving parts here, are tied to location triggers. And so what we're going to do right here is we're actually going to manipulate how that works really quick. So we're going to do 2 really specifically timed dashes right here and right here to get ahead of this wall right here, and by it. Oh my god, what a save! Viz almost got squished and died, so that was really clutch to have the heads up to do that. I would have died there, like straight up. So that was an extremely clutch save from Viz. Anyway, that saves like 9 seconds, so it doesn't look like a lot, but it is important. Now Viz is going ahead, and you have to clear out these 3 Titans to advance through the store. We're using the Titan loadout we just picked up called Scorch, which is going to allow us to do a lot of area of effect damage and burst damage. So it's really, really good for Titan fights. Had a little bit of a slow clear, so that'll if Fluffy is able to get a good wall boost like we saw earlier, and also a good door clear, that is definitely some time that they can save back over Viz. Especially here, Viz just kind of flubbing the end movement here to get inside the building. There's a lot of really weird angles you kind of have to beat to get in here, so it's definitely not easy to, or it's not hard to mess this up. So we have to go press the button and then go back to where BT's location is. But oh no, BT got captured by a crane arm. And by pressing this button, it actually disables the kill floor that would normally be at the bottom here. And so by falling all the way to the bottom, we save about 2 seconds before transitioning through to the next mission. And so now we're on to. Go ahead.
Time for some donations. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
I would say if you got donations, yeah, send them.
we got 2. Cool. So Snuggle Pug has donated $10, saying, "Alright, Viz, I beat Fluffy. Now you do it. Good luck on the run, y'all."
Wait, what?
Always great to hear from Snuggle.
We also have $80 from Anonymous, saying, "Have a peaceful end of Ramadan for all those fasting around the globe." Thanks for the $80. And quick note about we have a bid war for Titanfall in the end, so save or kill Marvin. So make sure to notify me before in time so I can check the current amount. But it looks like kill Marvin is in the lead.
Good, that's how it should.
Sorry, save Marvin. Actually, yeah, it went around.
Oh, Save Marvin is winning?
Yep.
Oh!
$60-ish.
Oh my gosh,
so.
donate to kill the Marvin. Donate
Please,
to kill the Marvin.
my Beacon 2 time needs it.
Whichever
yeah.
saves the more time.
Yeah, kill saves more. Kill saves more. Donate to kill the Marvin. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like Fluffy had a slightly better Abyss 1 than Viz did. They're gonna save a little bit of time versus them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the super good wall boost, so but it looks like their movement overall here was a little bit better, so they'll be clawing back just a few seconds there. So what we have going on over on Viz's screen, the reason that that it was totally cool to do donations over this mission is that it's a really annoying auto scroller. So I talked a bit about the assembly line triggers and everything in the previous mission. In this one, they're all on a global trigger. So basically anything that we can do, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna go ahead and proceed on its own, and we're just kind of waiting for it to get into place. So all this movement that you're seeing on Fluffy's screen, which is like immaculate, very, very nice, doesn't matter, which is really sad. However, we'll be able to do some skips later on, but for now, we're just kind of waiting for the assembly line to catch up with us once we reach a certain point. We usually go around the outside of the like the outside of the map. It's just a bit of a safer route. You probably saw Viz doing that, kind of walking through these really dark cliff faces and everything. It doesn't save any time, but it does make it a bit safer to navigate through here, just because again there are a lot of moving parts and things that can squish you. So, yeah. Anyway, so now we're just waiting right now. We usually do this little fun thing called red versus blue, or man versus machine in this mission, which we just kind of we make 2 different AI fight each other. It looks like blue one on Viz's screen. So sad, so sad. Red, I'm a red fan myself. Fluffy's probably gonna do one called Man versus Machine, where they make the robots fight the grunts. Just little things that we do to pass the time on this mission. This mission could be really cool, and it's actually totally possible that we could find a way to skip this sometime in the foreseeable future. We have like all the pieces that we need to be able to skip this mission. The end level trigger is actually present as soon as you load in. But we don't have a way to replicate the most important piece, which is something known as the glitched state, which is this kind of state that can occur if you meet certain parameters that we think we understand, but we're not sure, that allows you to kind of skew through walls in interesting ways. So that's kind of like the holy grail for this game, would be turning Abyss 2 into not an auto-scroller. You know, this mission comes like about, you know, through the first like third of the run, at the end of the first third of the run. So you play it pretty much any run that turns into anything. It's really long. It's boring. So if it turned into something that was actually exciting, and you know, where it was possible to win or lose time, it would be really cool. Anyway, over on Viz's screen here, we're coming to the end of the assembly line here. This is where we can actually do something in this mission. you'll notice that Viz is standing on a very specific part of this crane arm, and this crane arm is going to rotate up at about a 90-degree angle. And momentum preservation works very strangely in Titanfall 2. So basically, the platform is going to rotate upward, and we're going to jump off it at a very specific time. And we're going to get a ton of upward momentum from that rotation for the first jump. And then we also get it when we use our double jump as well. So if this is timed correctly, Viz will zoom straight to the top of this and skip a ton of platforming here. Looks like they went a little bit early. However, they can get a good backup here if they get on top of the platform. Really nice save from Viz. Oh, just barely missing the mantle. Gonna really nice backup though. Good heads up awareness. Good saves from Viz pretty much all around here. Fluffy now getting in position on the crane arm as well. That does lose a couple seconds, which again is another opportunity for Fluffy once they get to the end of the assembly line here. And so that leads straight into the second big skip here, which has a lot of interesting history. We used to do this skip in an entirely different way, except one of the Respawn devs actually saw our submission for SGDQ 2017, so that's way back, and they were like, hey, I was a designer for this mission, and there's a faster way you can do this, but I won't tell you how. And what we ended up finding after a ton of searching was that hole in the wall that you just saw Viz go through is, well, just that, it's a hole in the wall, so there's no collision there. And what we can actually do is navigate around the outside of the bounds here, out of bounds, and navigate over to where the end level trigger will be. So what normally happens here is the screen goes dark and it begins putting you in this kind of like big combat arena in this dome here. However, what the game doesn't want you to know is that dome is actually the fake dome, and we get teleported to the real dome when the screen goes dark. And where we're positioned right now is actually exactly where right above where the end level trigger will be once that teleport happens. So this skips a huge fight, and gets us directly to the next mission pretty much instantly upon the screen going dark. It's really cool. And there we go. And here, oh yes, and Fluffy gets the perfect dome launch on their screen. So that again, they're just clawing time back very slowly. That definitely saved them a good like 4 or 5 seconds versus Viz there. So that was really important for them to hit that, and they did. So good stuff. Now Viz going into the Abyss Chapter 3. This is kind of the hidden boss of the Abyss missions. Particularly for, this is one of the tricks right here that's difficult. We try and press that button and then get into this kind of like honeycomb right there as this big platform rotates around. That's called cylinder skip. And that does end up saving around 12 seconds. That's a really important skip. And then this movement right here is hard. You can see there's a lot of really weird angles and everything and a lot of enemies through here. So navigating through here smoothly is not easy. Viz did it very nicely though, and is going to go ahead and careen over on top of this platform. This is a strat known as Decept Caverns. It is cycle-based, and Viz hit it really well. That was, of course, found by S-Deception. And I should note that a lot of the big stuff that we saw in Abyss 2, that was found by our resident glitch lord, Taskanaz. Everybody's favorite Australian glitch hunter. He has found a metric ton of time saved for this game. So we're very grateful for him for everything that he's helped us find. And so now, speaking of stuff that Taskanaz has found, Viz is approaching Ash Skip, which is a skip where you skip Ash, who is the boss that you might have heard talking over the intercom here. We're not going to encounter her at all here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the hover ability that this Titan loadout has. We picked this Titan loadout back in Abyss 1. So we're going to get into an unattended location using the hover and then disembark. And it just so happens that the closest location that both BT and Cooper can be standing just happens to be out of bounds. So we get teleported, like 20 feet forward. And that effectively puts us out of bounds. Really nice hoverless from Viz there too. Getting up there without having to hover again saves a couple seconds. That's really dope. And now what we're going to do is walk all the way around the outside of the trigger location for the Ash fight. And we're going to dash again over an invisible floor, and then dash, and we'll do another disembark clip through an invisible wall. You can see the screen going wild there. We call it the alternative name for this skip is Solitaire Skip because of that. It's the fun name for it. And now we approach the location of the end level trigger, and that is it. And so yeah, that was a very solid Abyss 3 from Viz. Fluffy answering as well. Nice Decept Caverns from Fluffy. Also getting the cycle there. A really good wall kick there too.
And BT's in a really good place there too as well.
Yeah, BT's in a good spot. There could be a little bit of randomness based on where BT is. Back on Viz's screen, we are now approaching the probably the most famous mission of this game. It has its own Wikipedia article about it. This is Effect and Cause. This is the mission, if you played this casually, that you told all your friends about. It's super duper cool. As you can see, something is amiss here. Time is swapping back and forth erratically. Our original mission with BT was to rendezvous with Major Anderson, who did some sort of reconnaissance mission here. And this is Anderson's location. Viz is going for a super gnarly frag boost here. Gets a decent boost. Not a perfect one, but they're surviving, which is what matters. That's exactly what I was talking about with Viz going for like the harder, riskier stuff. They didn't execute it perfectly, but they also didn't die, and there's definitely a risk of death with that one. So we found Anderson, by the way. This is Anderson's. Yeah, this is Anderson's location. They are somehow stuck in the floor that was there both in the past and the present. We're gonna grab their helmet, which contains a lot of important Titan data, and give it back to BT. On Fluffy screen, we have Fluffy executing Ash Skip, and it looks like they did it perfectly as well. And they are now also finishing up Into the Abyss Chapter 3. So now we'll give the helmet back to BT. BT is going to scan a lot of the data that is inside the pilot helmet there. And yeah, now we're chilling for a bit, basically. There's going to be a lot of plot that is explained in this segment that talks about why Anderson was sent here and yada yada yada, but mostly we're just waiting for this. This is a pretty extended dialogue sequence that, of course, we are saving time on by playing the game in Mandarin.
So this is a point just because of the long dialogue where if there's any donations that you have, you are pretty much free to read them for a good minute or so.
No new donations at the moment. Saving Marvin is still in the lead.
Y'all gotta get your donations in to kill the Marvin. It is vital to these players' times, especially Viz, who is looking like is on some really good pace right now. I am sure Viz would appreciate if you donate to kill the Marvin. Please donate to kill the Marvin. It saves it saves a non-negligible amount of time. It is very important. Please do it. Anyway, Fluffy, go ahead and coming down the hallway now here. They are also approaching Anderson's helmet. Got a little bit mixed up on the walls, though. Those wall kicks can be really hard with how time is swapping. Viz is doing a cool strat where we're going to wait till BT throws this lamppost and a zipline appears. And instead of grabbing the zipline on the bottom like we're supposed to, we're going to go right to the location of the zipline as it appears in midair. Saves about 2 seconds. That's cool. And now we have a really cool strat coming up. This is one of my finds, one of my favorites ever. So we can't really control the time swaps yet, but we can position ourselves to be in certain places when the time swaps happen. So in this timeline, the really clean one, this is the past. There's going to be a laser grid that isn't going to be there in the opposite timeline. So we're going to stand at a certain point, and then essentially when time swaps, we're going to be inside the laser grid, and it's going to give us a huge damage boost and shoot us out at a really high rate of speed. And what we're going to be trying to do is maintain that speed all the way through a long hallway. So this is FTL, that's what we call it. Best of luck, Viz. Oh, just a little bit late, or a little bit late on the jump. There is what happened. And so right now, it's not faster to load checkpoint. You just go through it as normal, and that'll pretty much do it. So another opportunity for Fluffy to save time there. FTL is a hard trick, so if neither player gets it, that won't be the most unheard of thing ever. But a good attempt nonetheless. And so here we go into Effect and Cause Chapter 2. This is, we pick up the wrist-mounted device that Anderson had, which gives us the best tooltip of all time, which is press button to time travel. And this allows us to travel through time at will. Anyway, yeah, so this mission as a whole is fairly straightforward. There aren't a lot of big skips that we do. This is pretty much going through a lot of the game. This mission is really heavily trigger gated, so we go through a lot of the locations that it needs us to just as efficiently as possible. Looks flashy when we're swapping time. We do some damage boosts like Viz is about to do right here. Again, not a perfect damage boost, but a good enough one. Not dying is always important. Now we approach the elevator here. We do a melee through the wall, which gets the dude out of our way. We're going to do a quick vertical climb. There's not a lot of vertical segments that you see in this game, but that is one of them right there. And Viz getting to the button, getting a little caught up. So again, more opportunities for Fluffy to catch back up here. All right, and so Viz is getting in a pretty precise location. They're going to be using an audio cue to kind of time their way to get through this door at just the right moment. This is a really small time save. It saves about half a second, but it's nice when you get it. And here comes Fluffy approaching FTL. Fluffy, I'm sure you're at least going for it, right?
Nah.
Yeah, alright, best of luck. So, oh, it's just so close. Yeah, you can see just how precise that trick is, considering that both players had similar lineups, but they got vastly different results from it. Fluffy was just too far to the left, and then if you're too far inside where the laser grid is, the game will just kind of displace you on the other side of it. Big audio cue coming up here for Viz. I can't hear Viz's audio, so I'm gonna go ahead and just be quiet here, just for their sake. Really nice frag boost here. We're gonna do a tap strafe around the corner. If you've been paying attention, you'll notice that tap strafing is literally everywhere in this run. It is super duper important. Nice through cryo storage, good save, and this is one of the hardest parts of the whole game right here is Hell Room. I'm curious if... Oh, Viz is pulling a frag, he's going for it. Throws it down, gets a decent boost. Oh, he mantles though. That's the big risk there. That's the big risk when you go through that. These platforms are not kind at all, and they have a lot of really ugly geometry that you can get caught on. And Viz getting a little bit caught up. If you kind of get... This room is kind of like a lot like a rhythm game, and if you get kind of off the rhythm, off your line, it gets really difficult really quickly. Viz is going to be going for a super cool trick known as Snuggle Slide. We're going to take advantage of kind of like the inverse of platform velocity here. Oh, so close to try and take advantage of that. We'll get another opportunity to see it. Fluffy, are you going for Snuggle?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that actually gives me a good opportunity to talk about how Snuggle Slide works, since we're going to see it again on Fluffy's screen. Essentially, when you land on a moving platform, the game kind of gives you momentum opposite to the direction the platform is moving to more accurately like simulate what it would be like landing on a platform. Obviously, you're not just going to stick to it perfectly if you're moving on one that's moving really fast. So what happens is we get, because the platform is moving so fast and we slide on it, we get completely flung off in the opposite direction that it's moving. So if Fluffy is able to nail it, that'll be really, really, really cool. Viz now is on to Effect and Cause Chapter 3. This is the shortest mission in the game, and is really pretty, again, straightforward. We're going to like objective, complete the objective, go to the next point. Fluffy again has an audio cue here, so I'm going to go ahead and be quiet for them. That's weak. Little cut up on the audio cue there. No big deal though. If Fluffy can pull together a clean Hell Room, they can definitely claw some more time back. This segment on Viz's screen is super cool. This is like the frozen time section here. Nice, that's a new optimism. Oh, what killed you? What the heck?
I fell into the hole.
Oh, okay. I was like, what could possibly kill you here? Yeah, this segment is really difficult, as I was mentioning. Really quick and effective. A good checkpoint and a quick restart from Fluffy is going to save them some time here. And here they come into Hell Room. You'll notice that the route Fluffy takes is a little bit different than Viz's, using a big strafe coming off the wall here to go ahead and chain our movement all the way through here. And here comes Fluffy onto Snuggle Slide, so let's see if they can nail it here. This is a difficult trick and one of the newer strats that was ever found, that has been found for this game. Oh my god, so close! That is so unfortunate. Just the timing for that, to die like that, is literally like, you could not do that if you tried. Like straight up. The timing to get perfectly squished by that is just so unfortunate for Fluffy. Anyway. Yeah, as someone said in chat, decapitated. Yes.
It's speaking once. Please, someone donate to kill the Marvin.
Yeah, if you haven't donated, this is your last chance. By the way, thank you for pointing that out, Viz. Viz is approaching the mission. As soon as this mission is over, that is the cutoff. So please donate to kill the Marvin. This is your last chance. Please, if you got any of that leftover, if you're an American, you got any of that leftover stim money, please donate to kill the Marvin. This is it.
We got one donation, but it was not enough, at least so far. It was only $5, so Saving Marvin is still in the lead.
Thank you for the $5, but we need more. Please donate to kill Marvin. Yeah, it's right here on this mission. we have a pretty cool dialogue skip that was found by Tron Javolta back in 2017. Essentially how this works is we are going to go complete all the mission objectives before the game really does like a check for him. So essentially what we're supposed to do here is kind of talk with BT and talk about how we're approaching where the militia are holed up in this little building. And then BT's like, oh my god, we got to save him. But actually we're just going to go kill everybody and then get back to BT. So then when BT's like, all right, let's go do it, everything's already done. So it skips like 45 seconds of dialogue, which is what Viz just did right there. And skipping 45 seconds of dialogue means that's 45 seconds less that we have to get donations in to kill the Marvin.
Yep, I'll quickly read the donation we just got. So that was a $10 donation from Anonymous, but they only put 5 towards killing. So they said excellent commentary for every single run today. Thank you very much for the marathon. Thank you, Anonymous.
Yeah, thank you, Anonymous. So this is it. This is your last chance before the cutoff. There are literally only 30 seconds left-ish here. So Fluffy is just finishing up Affecting Cause Chapter 3. They're about to go do the same thing that Viz did here with the dialogue skip. Viz is just doing a little setup here to go ahead and just get through the door as soon as it opens. This is a Zweek strat. And that will be on to the Beacon Chapter 2.
We did get a new donation. Let me see.
Oh,
okay. Forte sent $60. And let me refresh quickly. And yes, Saved Marvin is in the lead by $1.
What?
Oh, no!
Forte, that wasn't enough.
No!
That's the cutoff too. Oh,
My beacon
no.
too!
Forte, thank you
This is a
so much
tease.
for that camp. I feel like that has to be a very well coordinated troll. Like, there's no way Forte didn't know. There's no way.
I
There's
have to
no
go
way
save
Forte
the
didn't know.
Marvin now.
Yeah, you gotta save the Marvin. Oh man.
What a
Okay. That is pretty great. If
On
that
my
was intended for
favorite
Forte-
level.
Yeah, to talk about the Beacon Chapter 2 a bit, this is the runner favorite. This mission is all gas. It has a really nice pace to it. It has a very cool skip that we'll be seeing right here called Kill Room Skip, which I don't believe Fluffy is going for, so if Viz gets messed up here. Oh, Fluffy's going for it. Okay, so this is a very complicated skip. We do a death warp right there. Then we're going to try and use this sticky grenade launcher we just got to perfectly... Oh, boostless? No, okay. We're going to try and use this grenade launcher and use a very complicated strafe pattern to get perfectly over this gap right here. This looks better from Viz. There we go. As you can see, that the death trigger or the death wall there is very, very high up. So a second try kill room skip is still faster than not doing it. And here we go. We are about to save the Marvin. Unfortunately, if you watch on Viz's screen here, nice little route to get underneath. Don't shoot the Marvin. And now, because you guys didn't donate enough, we are watching this animation play out. And look, now the Marvin is sad for the rest of their life. Like, nobody's gonna come down here to save them. They're just gonna be sad. You could have just had them killed. We could have just saved time and killed them, and they would not have been sad anymore. But instead, alternatively, now they're just sad for the rest of eternity. So, good job saving the Marvin, you monsters. You heartless monsters. You should be ashamed.
Also, my time.
Also, Viz's time. Viz, are you on PB pace or something?
I was.
How could you? Honestly, you all should feel very bad. Anyway, so this has been a that's a one-frame trick. That's a one-frame trick that Viz just got, mantling the great like that, clawing back the time lost that the Marvin Saber stole from us. That's really, really hard to get to mantle like that. Anyway. Anyway, that's the Beacon Chapter 2. We didn't really get to talk about a lot of what was going on there, but yeah, that's Beacon Chapter 2. I guess that's perfect timing. As Viz is leaving it, Fluffy is entering it. So I like that they're leaving and entering from the same location too. It's pretty great. We'll get to see Fluffy's attempt at Kill Room Skip here. Kill Room Skip is a very hard trick. I feel like anybody that's learning this game, like a rite of passage, is streaming this and trying to learn it and having an experienced runner guide you through how it works, and getting it after like an hour, like 2 hours of trying or something like that is usually
2
how it
hours,
goes.
one good attempt. It's always
Yeah.
nice.
Yes, yeah, it's always fun. So here goes Fluffy's attempt at it. Best of luck, Fluffy. That looks good. Is that a first try? Let's go, Fluffy. First try kill room skip.
Let's go.
Dude,
Off my shoulder
yeah,
right now.
yeah,
big deal.
that is super dope. Yeah, that has not been a skip that Fluffy has went for historically either. So seeing them bust that out first try in a scenario like this is super sick.
Yeah, in my PB, I got it third try, and that was at the
Oh, we killed the Marvin! Fluffy!
It's fine. The checkpoint's right here. It's fine.
It never happened.
Never happened. Smile. The robot.
Press reset checkpoint to time
It's
travel.
fine. He's fine, guys. I didn't kill him. I definitely didn't kill him. Don't worry about it.
That Marvin is sad not only because you took his AUG tour, but also because he remembers.
He knows.
Well, anyway, so yeah, this is a great beacon too. It's just really too bad that Fluffy had to save Marvin. Man, that just sucks. Damn. So too bad, so sad. Darn. Anyway, now on Viz's screen, we are on the Beacon Chapter 3. It's been very the distance between you two has been very convenient for commentary purposes because now we get to skip all that boring stuff that happened on Viz's screen. We can talk about the cool stuff that is about to happen. So, this is the most iconic part of this entire run. This is the Beacon Chapter 3. We're going to use a very unique glitch here. By swapping to the Titan that can fly, you're not supposed to be able to disembark while you fly. However, if we wedge ourselves kind of in a corner in the ceiling and we disembark while flying, it has some strange effect on player gravity where you'll see that Viz is much floatier now. And their gravity is reduced by 15%. And we have a really cool set piece coming up here where BT is like, yo, you have to get over there, but it's too far, so what if I just threw you? And what we found out, thanks to a QA tester at Respawn, is that if you hold jump when BT throws you, you do a frame-perfect jump off of his hand. So, we're going to do an unattended jump, we have less gravity. Viz, are you going to go for Deluxe?
You know, we'll see how it happens when I reach the double jump.
Okay, there is a brand new... Okay, good luck, Viz. I'm going to shut up. Oh?
And no.
They're not going for Deluxe. Okay, there is a new variant of the trick that just got found that is... Ooh, going over the top of the crane. Very spicy. Whoa, this is a really good super fastball regardless. Yo, that was sick. That was really, really good. That wasn't like the deluxe version, but if you're not going for the deluxe version, you might as well make it look as cool as possible like that. That is super fastball. That was super well done. Now we're going to grab gravity stars, which are a unique ordnance that create a gravity well and explode and send us a massive distance without killing us. It is super sick. That was really good from Viz. Super fastball, definitely one of the most iconic moments in the game. Another difficult strat coming up here on Viz's screen. This is going to be an attempt at what is called zipless. We're going to be doing a very precise gravity star throw and then trying to carry this momentum across this entire distance back to BT. This is a race to get back to BT ASAP. So here we go. That's a good boost. Nice wall kick. It can be so hard to make these micro adjustments that you need in this part when you're moving this quickly. Oh, it just barely misses the wall kick. So close. Either way, that's definitely a time save, getting as far as they did, but it looks like they're going to do a kind of abbreviated zipless. Normally you wouldn't hit that wall and you just go straight across, but either way, really good recovery. You could see exactly what they were going for here. So overall, really nicely executed. And now here we go on to Dish Fight. This fight is fairly straightforward. We actually don't have to do this. We could just start climbing to the top of the dish immediately. Thank you, Smitty.
Thank you, Smitty.
But it is faster just to do all this manually ourselves. Yeah, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to manipulate enemies to spawn in certain locations, and they'll spawn based on where we're looking. So it's kind of a balancing act of eliminating all the bulk enemies, excuse me for a sec, eliminating all the bulk enemies as quickly as possible, as well as manipulating the spawns here. So, yeah, here goes Fluffy getting into BT, and Fluffy is, did you get moon boots? Okay, Fluffy got moon boots. All right, very nice, very nice. Yeah, so here comes Fluffy's super fastball attempt very, very shortly while Viz cleans up the fight here. And now Viz is doing a really, this is actually a pretty big skip. It saves like 45 seconds. Normally there would be another fastball segment here. But alternatively, we can just climb straight up to the top of the dish, and it skips a lot. So, yeah. All right, and I'm going to give Fluffy some serious time here as they attempt super fastball as well. Best of luck, Fluffy. Nice. That was a good wall kick. That was a rough angle too. Good stuff, Fluffy. There were a couple areas right there where that could have gone south really, really quick, and Fluffy just held on. That wall kick angle was rough. They were low on the second wall. They almost didn't make it onto the platform, and they saved it the whole way through. So here goes their terminal skip. Oh, this one looks great too. Very excellent height. Yeah. There we go. All right. That was super well done. Very clutch to do that when you're behind like that. Yeah, super, super good. Now, what Viz is doing is they are entering into Richter fight. This is a 3-stage fight that uses spawn manipulation at every turn as Fluffy makes their way back to BT. We're going to be looking at every single spot here in an attempt to manipulate the Titans. Ooh, interesting. And Fluffy gets a good zipless setup too. Let's see if they can chain this momentum all the way across. Nice wall kick. Again, it's super hard to maintain this momentum properly. This is a trick that requires a lot of practice. It's definitely one big flowchart. Wall kick. Wall kick. I don't know if they have the speed to make it across. It looks like they were a little behind on their timing. So they're gonna do this. Oh! Oh, the crouch bug! Oh no! Oh my god, a no checkpoint the whole way? Dude, that's messed up. That's not fair. Alright, so there's a bug you can encounter in this game called the crouch bug. Essentially, when you are uncrouching, at any point, whether that's on the ground or in the air, you cannot jump. And so what happened is, as Fluffy was going through the uncrouch animation, which only lasts like a quarter of a second, right? As Fluffy was going through the uncrouch animation, they pressed the jump input, and then of course nothing happened because of the crouch button. So it always sneaks up on you because that's just not really something you think about. I mean, you can be cognizant of it, but when you're in like a high stress trick like this, that is usually not in the forefront of your mind. So just, I mean, obviously a crouch bug is something that can be avoided, but ultimately it feels like a luck-based thing more than anything else. And when it does happen, it can have very big effects like that. Very, very unfortunate for Fluffy. I didn't even see how the Richter fight went for Viz. It looks like it went well if you're already back in the hub room here. So
yeah, I had a slight worry that he might softlock himself inside the building, but
oh yeah, wow, that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
How's your pace looking right now, Viz?
Yeah, how is your pace looking?
It was like 20 seconds ahead of PB. Then Beacon 2 happened when I had to save them all then. And it was only 2 seconds ahead of PB then. So I'm, like, you know, on the same pace.
I was going to say, this has been a pretty solid Beacon 3, so I'd imagine you probably, you know, if you had a good Beacon 3 in your PB, you would be matching it. So
Yeah.
I really want Viz to PB right now because we have had the last few times this game has been at a marathon. I believe it was Fluffy at what marathon was it, Fluffy, that you PB'd at?
Hekathon.
Yeah, Fluffy at Hekathon had their PB, which is, but these are both top 10 runners, by the way. So they had a top 10 PB, and then at mid-spring speed fling, Sapphire and Pink had a PB as well, which was a 124. So we've had a succession of marathon PBs. So if Viz was able to pull this out and also get a marathon PB, that would be ridiculous. That'd be super duper cool. So that's what I'm pulling for right now, more than anything else.
Yeah, Viz getting a PB would make me feel a lot better about my performance right now, which has not been the absolute worst. Like, I have not made anything like in the sense of like, oh, you know, I've made like a 2-minute huge mistake. I'm only a minute behind my PB at the end of this split, basically. Well, it's gonna be more than that at this point because I forgot I had the crouch bug. But like
3 gold.
the difference between, oh my goodness, he's pogging out of his gourd right now.
I'm back
Sapphire
to 20
Pink,
seconds ahead,
yes,
by the
I
way.
shouted you out, Sapphire, because you PB'd in a marathon and you're sick. Yes.
Yeah. Saf is epic.
Saf epic. All right. Now we are approaching on Viz's screen. This is one of the hardest missions in the entire run, unlike any other mission as well. This is Trial by Fire. So Trial by Fire is the only mission that is entirely based on Titan movement and Titan combat. The first half of the mission as well is kind of a disguised escort mission. So this is pretty complex in how this works. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing up Sword Block right here. This is going to block...
Sorry.
That's okay. You're good, dude.
Reaper troubles.
Oh, yeah. That'll happen. Sword Block is going to block 75% of incoming damage, and we're going to use that to walk through a wall that would be destroyed so it just doesn't have collision. And now what happens here is there are multiple Titan waves that we have to clear out here. We're going to be trying to clear out as many Titans as possible so that we can then access the second wave. And then once we clear out a certain number of Titans from the second wave, we'll hear Viz is going to be looking for a certain line of dialogue from Sarah, who's the person that you saw talking at the beginning of the level, that will indicate that we can successfully advance. This is a mission that very few runners are, I would say, even half decent at. There's a ton of resource management and little adjustments you have to make as you go. This mission isn't entirely random. Skilled players will definitely always come out ahead, but there is a lot of variance that you kind of have to keep in control over. And Viz is having an unfortunately slow clear at the moment too. There we go. There's the line from Sarah. That's what you're looking for. Viz is going to go ahead and clear out the Titans, though, to make sure that there aren't any standing in Sarah's way. But the goal right now is to make sure that there are as few things as possible in between Sarah and the elevator, which we have coming up here later on. And so that is essentially what all of this is. We don't actually have to kill any of these, but we are making sure to do so that Sarah doesn't get caught up here. Viz doing a strat called a Tact-to-Cancel. One of the abilities that a Titan has is called the Tactical. And certain Titans have like a shield-like ability for their tactical, and if you bring that out when you swap to it, it's kind of an animation cancel that cancels out the normal animation where you bring up your gun as you swap to a new loadout. So if anytime you see Viz do that, which you'll probably see again right here, I would imagine, tactic cancel right there, yes, that is an animation cancel that saves just a little bit of time. And let's look at Sarah's positioning is good. Viz made sure to clear out pretty much anything that could have caught her up, and so Sarah is here. And it looks like she is successfully at the elevator. Oh, she's chilling a bit. There we go. There's Sarah. So Sarah here says that was the easy part, even though that's literally one of the hardest parts in the entire game. And now from here, this is the easy part that we'll be doing coming up here. So we're going to abuse the Sword Core on Ronin. Cores are kind of like ultimate abilities. We're going to abuse Sword Core on Ronin, which gives us very quickly refreshing dashes. And we're essentially going to cheese our way all the way to the end here. And what we'll be doing kind of midway through is we'll be pausing to refill our core again. Anytime that we're dealing damage, we're building core meter. And that is quite a bit faster than just running straight through and not worrying about it. Use a nice little arc wave to hit 2 enemies at once. Gets 76% core there, so that's a really big gain right there. Viz gets a little bit unlucky there, also shot a little bit too many times, but yeah, now we're off, and this is just a mad dash to the end of the level from here on out. What game do we have coming up after this, by the way, for the marathon?
We have Prey.
Your personal favorite.
I would imagine Lifelike is running that, right? If it's a Prey run, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Alright, and so here comes Fluffy's Trial by Fire attempt. Viz's Trial by Fire was not the fastest ever, but it was solid. So Fluffy would have to have a really good Trial by Fire to save time here. How's this looking versus your PB, Viz?
My Trial by Fire was really bad, so I'm 40 seconds ahead coming into Orc.
Let's go.
But this is the arc.
Yeah, this is the arc. Viz is currently on sub 121 pace, it looks like, so that is pretty sick. What you saw Viz do right there was they quit to menu and then loaded back in. This is because after you start the mission, you have effectively unlocked it. So if we quit to menu and then select mission select, it actually kind of it gives us what would be the standard loadout. for this mission, and that includes a Titan loadout that we did not pick up earlier, most notably Ion. And that Titan loadout is going to facilitate the newest strat that we have in the run called Zerg Viper, which refers to the way that we do the Viper fight. That was found by Reginels recently. So that's the purpose of that. Speaking of Viper, we're about to get introduced to them. Viper is talk of the town right now, obviously because of Apex Season 9 and Valkyrie and everything like that. If you've only been slightly paying attention to that, this is the new Apex character's dad, essentially. It's been really weird, personally, seeing people kind of like romanticize Viper and everything, and then you see this cutscene where he just like murders like 50 people in the span of like 2 seconds. You're like, dude, he's kind of a bad guy. He's kind of a bad dude. You also saw, you probably also saw Viz throw a grenade away at the start of this mission, and that essentially gives us a grenade refill when this cutscene is ended. On Fluffy's screen, they are having a most unfortunate initial Titan clear here. This is about as bad as it gets. If you're fishing for Titans all the way out here, that means it is not going well.
If, for the record, this would be an instant reset, no matter how far ahead I was at this point. That's how bad this is. No matter if I was like a minute and a half ahead at this point, I would still reset. That is how bad this is.
Okay, so by the way, Viz is coming up on Barker skip. This is a very difficult skip. I'm going to be quiet because it requires an audio cue. Oh, first try Barker for Viz. First try Barker for Viz. That is so sick. Okay, so that skip is really difficult because you need a good grenade boost. You also need to get just a little bit lucky with how the ships are moving across there. The grenade boost, the purpose of it there is to mitigate any randomness. And so you're doing a damage boost between these two ships that are moving both independently of each other. So hitting that first try is absolutely crucial to getting a good time in this game. And Viz hit both Barker skip and 6-4 skip. He hit him back to back, which is super important, especially if Viz is going for a PB here. So this segment here is going to require you to. The game says that you need to clear out all 3 gun batteries. However, we just have to clear out the last one. So we're just going to go down here and eliminate the enemies. We'll be ideally trying to avoid a stagger animation that'll happen here. It looks like Viz got it. Very nice. That's staggerless. Very nicely done. And the rest of the enemies just despawn from there. Sarah is just now getting to the elevator for Fluffy. About as unfortunate as it gets for Trial by Fire. Wait, what's happening? Okay, Viz, I thought it was bugged. I was so scared. I was like, why aren't they coming down? You can hear the fear in my voice. This mission in particular, the Ark, is a whole can of worms in terms of like bugs and just unthinkable stuff that can happen to you. So I was very scared for Viz for a moment, and there's still a moment coming up like that. This is a trick called Early Sarah, where normally there's a big...
Oh no.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You got a good checkpoint, right? Okay, minimal time loss. Minimal time loss, it's okay. This is a trick called Early Sarah, where normally there's a big set piece where you're supposed to run on the side of the wall here. Instead, we just go ahead and get on top, and it saves a couple seconds. Oh god, thought you were gonna die. And here, this is room clear. We're fighting with some of our allies, the 6-4 right now. They are scripted to kill a certain number of enemies, or a certain set of enemies through this room. We're basically going to be eliminating every enemy that they would not. And that includes these folks right here that are on the elevator. Arc grenades are very good. This is the release version of arc grenades, so they're not the patch ones that we have before. We're going to try not to get melee to death right here, and then we just have a few to kill upstairs, and that is it.
So I just want to, while that's happening, I'm just going to throw out, I mentioned that like I would instantly reset even if I was like a minute and a half ahead. I have 30 seconds to save here in my PB. I'm losing 20. So just so you know how bad that Trial by Fire was for me, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. So that said, Viz's PB is not going to have the Zerg Viper strat that I talked about earlier. So even though they had that death, if they get a really good Zerg Viper, they can very well still come out ahead on the split, considering they had first try Barker and first try 6-4. Zerg Viper is one of the biggest time saves we've had in this run since something like Andy Shot, and it's also just a big time save all on its own. that was found by Regnels, who came and destroyed our tournament and then also got the no cutscenes record. So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to be doing the fight out of order. We're going to be kind of putting the puzzle pieces together in like a different order than we normally would. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Ion loadout that we got by quitting to menu to shoot Viper twice, and then we're going to swap to Tone and do a ton of damage to him. And ideally what we're going to do is the whole time we're dealing damage to Viper, we're building up core. And so we'll use that core and then instantly turn around and deal with the Scorches. So that is what's supposed to happen here. It's a very big time save if we execute it properly. Here is Viper. This is the fight. Best of luck to you, Viz.
I don't need it.
Oh, a vote of confidence from Viz there. I don't need it, they say. Here we go. So here's the double laser shot. Nicely done. Instant swap to Tone. Get the early shots in. Very nice. Now this is the tricky part when he flies back and the Scorches are ahead. Very smart to stand back. An early release. Good Acolyte pod. This is looking like good damage. Very nicely done. Now the swap to Ronin. And oh, here we go. They're right next to each other. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's the ultimate Zerg Viper. That went so well. That is about as good as you can ask for it to go right there. And so something very interesting is happening now. We did that fight so fast. It was literally faster than the game was like programmed for us to do it. So what's going to happen right here is you're going to notice that there's going to be some artifacting on the screen as we go through this cutscene. So we have essentially exited the area that the game expected us to be playing in. You can see the artifacting there. And we are now effectively out of bounds. This is the third out of bounds trick in the game. So because we did that fight so quickly, we're out of bounds. And now the play area is rapidly accelerating toward us with a big invisible wall. But what we can do is if we initiate a mantle, when the wall pushes us, we can mantle clip back in bounds. Right here, got it, we got it, perfect. So because we did the fight so fast, we do that, and now we just have to kill Viper. Nicely done, Viz, that was epic, dude. That was straight epic. Sorry, Fluffy, how is your art going, buddy? I'm so sorry.
First try Barker, first try 6-4, it's fine, it's going, it's fine. You know what, just focus on Viz, it's fine.
I'm just like so enthralled at the fact that Viz can get another marathon PB that I wasn't even paying attention to your freaking Barker, and you got first try Barker and first try 6-4, which is really hard. So well done.
Don't worry about it. I'm not even paying attention to my run at this point. I'm just gaming, dude. Just don't worry about it.
We're just vibing. Fluffy's being a great sport. Yeah.
Look, I'll take this downtime just to say something. I wanted this to be a more competitive race, but recently my doctor informed me that I had done damage to my wrists. Thankfully, I didn't need surgery to repair them, but I am undergoing physiotherapy for them. So unfortunately, I just have not been able to perform as well as I would have liked to as a result of that. But even still, I'm having fun. This is a great time for me. And I'm not trying to John. Viz is absolutely popping off. He probably would still be beating me even if I was having a really good run right now. So just shout outs to Viz right now. Like just absolutely popping off.
Anytime somebody's on PB pace in a run, you're like, well crap. You know, it's like, okay. I'm really curious what Viz's split is going to be coming out of Arc, considering they had a perfect Zerg Viper, but also had the Sarah death. That death that Viz had is probably the least costly in the whole level. So I'll be curious to know the split coming out of here.
It's 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 38 seconds out of the Arc.
What's was that a gold or?
Nah, it was like a second off gold. Even
okay.
With, yeah. But
How far are you ahead?
I'm 51 seconds ahead of PB.
Okay.
Holy moly.
All right, here we go. Then we're coming into the ultimate, or it's the ultimate. I was going to say penultimate, then I was like, wait, that's not penultimate. I was going to say ultimate. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, the final mission of the game, the fold weapon, starts off with a pretty lengthy cutscene here. We got about 3 minutes to sit through here, but this mission is very difficult. It's a very fitting final mission to the game. There's a lot of big set pieces. There's a lot of tight movement. There's resource management with Titans. There's a boss fight. It's really a challenge of everything that you need to know to be good at in this run. So we're just sitting through this cutscene for a bit. It's interesting. Over the course of this entire thing,
Whoops.
oh, Viz chooses the wrong dialogue option and loses like 2 seconds. Over the course of this entire section, the Mandarin dialogue is going to save us 3 seconds, but literally none of it happens until the entire cutscene's over and BT is talking to us again.
Can I do the thing on my end?
Yes, yeah, do it. This is a great thing that Fluffy does on all their streams. You should follow him, by the way, twitch.tv/LordFluffy.
Voodoo 1, Vipers on station. Your run ends here, pilot. The RNG belongs to me. No time to save. No run to bless.
I love that every single time. It is so good. Fluffy is an awesome voice actor, and if we have the commentary space for it, it would be sick to hear him do it over Fold Weapon. Though I'm not sure what will be happening on Visit Screen at the time. Also, Fluffy just got an epic Zerg Viper. That was actually super duper lucky for Viper to stand still like that and just eat the rockets. That was super dope. That was really, really good. So Fluffy will be doing the same thing that that Viz just did. That was an epic Zerg Viper. Dang.
Cooper, ready for fastball.
So now Fluffy's gonna be doing the exact same thing we saw before. You'll be seeing the artifacting and then the mantle clip to bring them back inbound here. Speed strat standing still, yeah. The mantle clip is not super difficult, but it's definitely one that you have to practice beforehand. Otherwise, you're not gonna have any idea how to do it. It can be a little bit tricky, and it's still, even if you practice it, has the chance to mess you up. It can be pretty tight to get the timing to clip through here, and Fluffy got it. Nicely done, dude. Nicely done. Is this gonna gold for you? Do you think, or? Oh, Viper. There we go.
It might.
It might.
It would have absolutely if I got the one-shot kill on Viper. I'm not sure now.
So this is pretty cool. The strat on Viz's screen right here. Sorry, Fluffy. 1 sec. By walking backwards into the fire, it just skips waiting for BT to talk for like 5 seconds. I don't know why. Sorry, Fluffy. Continue.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that was probably the highlight of my run for me. That was like as good of an arc as I felt I'd ever had. So.
Yeah, I mean that Zerg Viper was sick. I rarely even get one that fast, so that was dope. Anyway, so here we go on Viz's screen. We haven't really talked about the plot at all for the game. I guess it's not really important in a race setting. You know, we're just here to enjoy the race. Basically, BT got messed up, and then as a last resort is giving Cooper their data core, which is that little thing in the middle, and then the Seer kit, which is the Survive, Evade, Resist, Escape kit. Which contains the super convenient, super masculine, hacky, stabby knife, data knife that we've used to stab and hack things, and as well as the smart pistol, which is a literal aimbot pistol. So the movement in this first segment is really hard, primarily because we only have one jump for the start of it, and there are like a billion enemies in the way. Unless Viz has cleared it, there is like a hitch that can happen here.
But I don't really get one.
Though. Oh, that's good. That's good. Anyway. Yeah, so here we go. Very tight movement through here, and you really, really do not want to bonk and die anywhere here. Otherwise, you get sent back to. That was almost so clean. You get sent back to like before any of the stab animations, and you soft lock. So it could be pretty scary. And now here we go onto the zip line. We're gonna try and time a nice little slide underneath here to perfectly get underneath the door. This is his weak strat. One of the many awesome weak strats that we have in the game. Shout outs to his weak. Very good German runner in this game. One of the best in the world.
Sorry, 3 second gold on the arc.
Nicely done, Fluffy. Yeah, that's sick, dude. Definitely a highlight.
Let's go.
Alright, so now this is kind of the final section of this this pilot movement part, and it can be pretty complicated to try and meander your way through here with all these bolts getting shot at you, and there's a lot of tight hallways to get through. And now Viz is calling down a new Titan chassis, which he will install the data core in. And from there, we will be progressing forward. So what we have coming up here is going to be very similar to what happened in Trial by Fire, where we're going to be building core ASAP and then trying to just kind of cheese our way to the end. Are you doing Snuggle Core, Viz, or are you doing the standard tone strat?
I'm still doing standard. I prefer
standard tone strat. Okay, yeah, understandable. there are two different strats here. One is like very slightly faster than the other, but there can be a little bit of randomness just with the Titan layout here. So yeah, you can build core in two different ways, and Viz is doing it the old-fashioned way, I guess you would say at this point. So we're building core, and then this is a little bit unfortunate. Now there we go. Now Viz is gonna start using sword core and just kind of dash to the exit. The Titans have some very interesting interactions with geometry right here, or it's just all throughout the game, and we can kind of wedge ourselves on like a bunch of little platforms to kind of climb straight up. That's a Cash Mayo strat. Thank you, Cash. And now this is a very big skip that is a little bit kind of undersold by just how fast it happens, but this is, oh my god, please don't get shot. This is door skip. By disembarking and going to the top of the door, the door just opens, and that saves a huge amount of time. That before we had that skip, that was like a 2-minute RNG swing, just depending on Titan positioning and everything like that. So being able to get through there every single time like that skip's been around forever, but being able to get through there like that is super duper helpful. And now here Viz goes for the final boss fight of the game. This is Sloan Fight. This got completely revolutionized last year, again thanks to Cash Mayo. It's going to be split into another, it's another fight that's split into 3 phases. That's going to be making use of spawn manipulation. And the ultimate goal here is to go so fast, kind of similar to Viper Fight, that we kind of break the game in an unattended way. But in this way, it's going to benefit us, whereas in Viper Fight, we kind of had to work around it. So here we go. We swap back to Ronin, get 4 shots in. Getting the shield there is kind of no good. We don't want Sloan to core. There we go. Sloan didn't core. That's good. Now we're dropping down some flame traps to dispose of these folks as quickly as possible. Getting a little unlucky with the Scorch's health pool there, but nothing that nothing too bad. Okay, here we go on to the next phase. I was a little worried there. We want to get rid of this phase ASAP, and we've saved our core specifically for this segment right here. We can use 3 sword swipes with sword core, and we're going to use them all for these folks right here. All that needs to happen for this phase is for 3 things to die. This is going pretty solid so far. Swap back to Scorch for the final phase. And there's going to be something very interesting happening on Viz's screen here. So pay close attention. We're going to swap to Ronin, and then we're going to activate Sword Core at the same time as we pull out this animation here, the Arc Injector. And so what just happened, what happens essentially is when we have Sword Core out, we have a weapon as we enter the cutscene. And so the game gives us a weapon right here, as you can see, which is not intentional. And because we have a weapon here, we have a weapon for the next cutscene as well. And what's going to happen on Viz's screen, did you get free charge, by the way? Free charge! Let's go. We'll get to that in a sec. What's going to happen on Viz's screen is it's a miracle that this doesn't break the game. So we have a gun right here, and the kind of the big boss of the game is about to deliver their final monologue to us. But we're just gonna die. He's dead. And for some reason he still has a hitbox, he takes damage and instantly dies. And now we have progressed the game by 33 seconds. We just skipped all 33 seconds of Blisk's dialogue. It is an absolute miracle that this works. It is incredible. This was found by Reddit user Shot Andy, who posted on the Titanfall subreddit without video that was like, hey guys, I found a way to kill Blisk. I didn't really know how to do it, but here's how I did it. You know, go try it out. And then somebody in my stream alerted me of that. And so I went and tried it on my stream, and what we figured out, much to our delight, was that it's a huge skip. It saves a massive amount of time. Anyway, and also on top of that, because we did Sloan Fight so quickly, the fold weapon that you see here, this big weapon, is already charged up. Normally it would do, I believe, some sort of like a misfire or something like that. That would happen, but we get in it before that happens. And so this is going to save another 9 seconds on top of that. That we did. So because we did the Sloan Fight so fast, it's like, here's a bonus 9 seconds because you're so cool. Good job. This is, I mean, this has to be a PB, Viz, right? This has to be a PB at this point. Unless
something really cursed happens.
Unless you pull like a Bryonato in the escape like I did yesterday. Yeah.
I'll edit the we'll be right back for that one too if it does.
Yeah, oh yeah, if you guys saw the clip on r/speedrun or on Twitter or anything like that of me dying at this sequence, that was edited by LordFluffy. They threw that together, so it's pretty cool. That we have the whole gang here for that. Alright, and so time is coming up for Viz. About 30 seconds here. There's just one final sequence to get through. This is the escape sequence. There's a lot that can go wrong here, but generally speaking, if you're trying to play it safe, you can avoid most of that. Very nice. Okay, that was spooky. Okay. Sorry, I got scared. Time for Viz.
Time.
Was that Viz?
What is
I got a 1:20:27.
Let's go, dude. Oh
Viz
my
just
goodness.
went from 7th to 5th place, usurping Fizzy on the leaderboard to get a top 5 time. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed the 5th fastest completion of Titanfall 2 on the leaderboard. That is so sick, dude. Well done, Viz.
Oh.